Hello Internet, my name is Steven, I'm the Duct Tape Artificer, and I'm here to bring you some Reddit stories. I'm going to just start off and give a little bit of an apology and explanation for any low quality that may be going on. Just starting the channel out, gotta get some more tech going on. Right now I'm recording on a Hero 4 GoPro. I can't even use my condenser mic because I don't know where my USB sound card is, and the sound card on the laptop I'm using right now doesn't want to let the microphone work. So in the meantime, we're going to just be using this, and we will be seeing how this goes. So our first story is going to be brought to us by the first person who replied to the Duct Tape Artificer's request to read their D&D stories on Reddit. I am not going to be doing all of the stories in order from who said yes to no, but I felt like this user deserved a little bit of a special for going first. It may be a little short story, probably about a quick minute read, but I want to thank user SmashBros0445 for his story, simply titled My First D&D Story. I was running my first campaign, and it was our second or third session, and we had 3 characters, and they had just hired this new party member from a tavern. We had wrecked the town's other tavern earlier, so on our way to rebuild it, we ran into a bunch of guys in robes. The new guys kept trying to convince the party that they were just homeless people, but they had been infected with something that was a major plot point in this campaign. So we rolled initiative, and the barbarian stabbed 3 of them on his turn. My wizard came next, and we're level 12 at this point, because I was running a little bit higher in the level campaign. He cast Fireball, and all 20 cultists were obliterated. And now the new guy is traumatized and scared to leave the party, because he knows he could be next. TLDR, my party killed 20 people in one turn in the middle of town, and now one of the characters is traumatized. I do have to say this is actually a pretty good short little story. It just gives you the kick what you need. You know, it's a cute, funny little story. So thank you again, SmashBros0445, for your Reddit story. The links to all of these stories will be in the description. And make sure you go over to Reddit and give these people the karma they deserve. Our next story comes from user Megashark2012. My first DM in D&D experience. Writing on mobile, aka sorry for formatting. A lot of posts reminded me of this. So my group was, and still is, a fan of D&D. When I got the starter set, and we all decided to have a BS game, where we could learn how everything works, and how I need to really set up my game. The players for the night were a tiefling sorcerer, a half-elf ranger, and a homebrew oni. Oh goodness, homebrew, this is gonna get good. Since this was our first game, I decided to do something simple. A starter quest for wannabe newbie adventurers. It was a hunting mission for an owlbear that seemed off. She was sick. As the players walked through the forest, they decided that throwing rocks at each other or throwing people up trees was a great time. In-game, it took maybe an hour or 2 to find the owlbear. The ranger decided to climb a tree and saw the silhouette. The oni rolled for perception and found out that the leaves were a pleasant shade of green. The tiefling rolled for perception also rolled for perception, instead stepped in poop for all his trouble. Now please, I understand that I try to make this as tense as possible by saying that owlbear has noticed them and is stalking them. Then the tiefling decides to roll again, and succeeds. Over the course of the next few minutes, a charisma-based character does what charisma-based characters do best. I was hoping for a fight, and ended up making him roll for endurance multiple times. Oh, and Constitution. His nickname is now the Owleffer, and the bear has a really weird attachment to the tiefling. So yeah, First semi-homebrew game, and I was plagued by a tiefling sorcerer. I hate how much fun that game was. Thanks a lot, Mega Shark. That was a cute little story. Again, link will be in the bottom. Our next story comes from user Kennekish. Are you ready for Falco? Squawk squawk! So, recently my husband got me and some of our family together to start a D&D campaign. Our younger cousin is 7 and has a hard time paying attention or committing to the campaigns, but wanted to join. So he and our DM agreed on the concept that cousin would play a falcon named Falco that joins the party on the crest whenever he felt like it. Throughout it, cousin would tell us riveting tales of how Falco the Falcon was protecting the local farm from a rat infestation and really captured the spirit of a bird that, well, just kind of does bird things. 10 out of 10. He's having fun, and I'm secretly wondering if this is just some long con where we can learn Falco is actually the druids trapped in their wild shape or some stuff. Tonight, we discovered that, surprise, the wizard in town is actually a necromancer that has turned all of the villagers into weird undead NPCs that constantly relive the last day of their lives before she turned them into some strange, like, Groundhog Day type scenario, and we engage in combat to end her tyranny. Necrobitch summons a slew of undead to destroy us, and I'm just a squishy sorcerer over here living her best life. But the dice gods are unkind to me. I can't land a hit. My father-in-law and cousin came up with this fantastic idea that Bob the Fighter with a bow will use Falco as an improvised projectile missile to, as the kids say, F shit up. Bob rolls. Natural 20. The table explodes in hype and laughter as cousin narrates in vivid detail how he aims beak first straight for the necromancer's jugular. DM rolls with it and decides that this will have double damage and tells cousin what to roll. Kiddo gets a 12, so doubles that damage to 24. And then I say squawk squawk, cousin says with nary a thought about the fact that he, a burb, just yeeted a necromancer's HP by like a third while the rest of the party is just plinking away at her in the single digits. The whole table howls in laughter to the point of tears at this anime level of BSery. And we're all too drunk to care whether or not any of this actually makes sense. It was beautiful. Long live Falco the Falcon. Squawk squawk indeed. I want to thank you so much for agreeing to letting me read this, and I have an 8-year-old who can't keep enough attention to even try to D&D. We tried it when she was 7. It was a bad idea. We're probably gonna have to wait a little longer on her, but I love this idea of the kid just being, he's a bird doing bird things. And then just one combat gets to just wreck. Like, this is exactly what is needed. Also, in the event you have been hearing snoring during this recording, that would be my in-laws' pug that is staying with us for the weekend. Pugs. I don't know what else to say. Alright, let's see here. I've got another one here, so let's go with another short story with The Joys of Nat Ones by Aquashinez. Which starts off with a TLDR. So TLDR, PCs managed to eat cremated remains, then regrets it. So here's the story. So me and the rest of my party, beginners at the time, decided to do the Dragons of Icespire Peak adventure because it was the only game we had. Our party consisted of 3 elves, a moon elf, a wood elf, a moon elf, me, a wood elf, friend, sun elf, other friend. For the sake of simplicity, I'll write me, moon elf, we, wood elf, S-E, sun elf. So, the party is walking along when we run into the corpses of 3 orcs. And being D&D players, we rob the bodies of everything valuable? Then me, the moon elf, decides to cremate them. Cue 3 consecutive nat 1s. I single-handedly managed to cause 2 forest fires and lose about 4 HP, which was a bigger deal for us at the time. Eventually, while everyone, PCs and players, were laughing, me, the moon elf, managed to roll okay-ish and cremate these poor orcs. That should have been the end of it there, right? Wrong. The wood elf has the brilliant idea that she should eat the ash, and her player excitedly asks the DM if she can roll for it. The DM agrees. Then comes the only good roll in the story. 16 plus 2, so an 18. The wood elf then proceeds to eat all of the ash. The DM suddenly has an evil grin and asks the wood elf to roll Constitution. Wood elf does. Gets a nat 1. Everyone kind of stares at each other for a second, really scared what the wood elf is going to get sick and die, but no, something much better happens. The wood elf proceeds to bend over and then projectile vomit everywhere for the next 3 rounds, all while the moon elf, is desperately trying to help, and the sun elf is laughing with me. My friends are joking. Moral of the story: if it's not edible and you make it edible, the DM has to laugh. I hope you like it. Sorry if it's not supposed to be on the subreddit. If it isn't, just let me know and I'll take it down. Also, tell me where it's supposed to be. It would be greatly appreciated. Well, I'm gonna have to say it definitely belonged on this channel for the first video. Oh. Alright. We're at the 13 minute mark. You know what? I will give you guys one more D&D story, and I'm gonna finish off tonight with with a story from user Gentleman Octopus. I almost TPK'd our party twice with 2 wild magic fireballs in a row. A 0.1% chance. Alright, let's tackle this. Faced with 3 manticores, a couple of sea lions, and a giant scorpion, my wild magic sorcerer tiefling promptly turned themselves into a potted plant. Had to have rolled a 42 on that. Awesome. Attuned to a Feywild shard, I roll on the wild magic surge table a lot. The most fun way to play a wild magic sorcerer. I 100% agree with this. If your DM, if you're ever, I'm just going to pause for a second. If you're ever playing a sorcerer in 5e and you want to play a wild magic sorcerer, talk to your DM first and really have a conversation on what your expectations are with the wild magic, because it's 100% dependent on the DM triggering a lot of things. So you got to remember to have a DM who can have that tracking system for you and remind to do things. Because it's little... It kind of sucks when you got to ask, be like, hey, can you do the wild magic thing for me? Like, it seems more scripted and planned. It's more fun when a DM's just like, make a wild magic roll. So anyway, as I was saying, so thankfully this person has a very good backstory that let them get their wild magic table surge going on, and I'm just going to keep reading because, oops. Anyway, so I rolled on the wild magic surge table a lot. It's the most fun way to play wild magic sorcerer. So this kind of silliness wasn't unusual for me. With the rest of our level 8 party backing into a corridor to bottleneck the combat, our invisible fighter grabbed me up and delivered me to safety, right in the middle of the party. As our opponents closed in the corridor entrance, I twin cast haste on our cleric and rogue, rolling magic missile on my wild surge table. On the next round, I cast something else and caused another mild magic surge. A fireball centered on myself, right in the middle of the party. Half of us went down instantly, including myself. The cleric and the rogue managed to survive, but my haste was dropped, causing them both to be incapacitated for the next round. Our warlock survived but lost concentration, dropping greater invisibility on our fighter. He was now both visible and unconscious. Everyone was sort of annoyed, but it was kind of hilarious at the same time. It really puts a big twist on our plans for the fight, and we scrambled to get everyone back to their feet using our surviving party members. As we healed what we could and braced ourselves for the attacking manticores, sea lions, and giant scorpion, I quickened a casting of Mind Sliver and Suggestion on the closest manticore to try and turn it to our side. With a wisdom save of 17, it rolled a natural 20. My Mind Sliver's D4 reduction to their saving throw rolled a 1. I used Bend Luck to roll another D4 reduction to their saving throw. I rolled another 1. With my suggestion, play a failure. I rolled on the wild magic table again. I joked that rolling another fireball would be hilarious. I cast Fireball again. Not only did I roll that option on the table twice, I literally rolled 8 both times. That is a 0.01% chance. Our entire party went down except for a polymorphed NPC wizard and our half-dead druid that had been standing far back in the corridor. Luckily, the NPC decided not to freak out and run away. He has a fear of fire, but rolled well to stay with us, and repolymorphed into a huge giant crab to block the hallway while our druid worked to get our cleric back on his feet. While the cleric worked on healing as many people as he could, the sea lion ripped out our previously invisible fighter's guts, killing him dead. I ran under the huge crab's legs to deliver a potion of Revivify to save the guy who'd saved my potted plant ass earlier. He went down again soon after, but we eventually managed to bring him back, kill everything, and escape into the previous room to rest. The fighter suggested a lingering injury and rolled losing a foot. He now has a badass spear peg leg. My tiefling, though hard sobs, said the Strixhaven had never taught her that manticores could cast fireballs. I rolled a deception of 20. Everyone insight rolls failed. I guess we'll never know who thought those manticores the fireballs. So this is great. Gentleman Octopus, thank you so much for this. This is the perfect video to end out our first on. I just want to thank you all for joining me for this, dealing with the small little background noises and lower video quality in the meantime. Please remember to like and subscribe. Put links in the comments if you want for Reddit stories, tabletop RPG stories, specifically D&D RPG horror stories and the such that you'd like to have read. I'll reach out to the people, see if they'll approve me to do it. And if there's any stories that you want to share, you can come on over to my personal Reddit page, which is DT Artificers. In the meantime, again, please like, subscribe, comment. Help me get this algorithm to get to the 1,000 subs so that I can be giving you guys the best content I possibly can. All right. Thank you.